I was experiencing this meaningless, and where I'm searching for a meaning for it, I have no answer. I was searching for it everywhere. I'm searching for it in my friends. I am searching for it going for a movie. I'm searching for it going to a beach. I'm searching everywhere. I'm searching. Never I could found it. First time I felt this insight. Joy is not in external circumstances. Joy is within me. How I perceive situation, how I perceive this person, how I take this situation depends on that. Either I feel joy or suffering.
Welcome to the Break Free podcast with your host, David Mancella. Today we have with us a beautiful, beautiful soul. It's amazing to see that the creation has so many different types of people, isn't it? Usually this podcast is dedicated for high-level entrepreneurs, for people that have accomplished a lot in their life through their business, and they are making this world a better place through their business. Today, however, we're going to have a different type of interview with this beautiful, beautiful soul that was referred to me from a very, very good friend of mine that has gone through a lot of troubles in his life. So without further ado, please, my beautiful brother, introduce yourself. What is your name and where are you from and where are you living right now?
Okay. My name is Uma Shankar. I'm from beautiful country and spiritual ethos country, India. Right now I'm living in Spain.
In Spain.
Yes.
You know, Spain, where I come from, we call it the motherland.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Because
beautiful.
I am from Guatemala, and the Spaniards, they went and they conquered Latin America. So I speak Spanish actually.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Are you learning Spanish?
I just started learning.
Good. Are you gonna plan to stay there for a while, or is you're just visiting?
I'm going to spend a lot of time here. So I have my residence permit here.
That's amazing. So when did you move to Spain?
It's almost 8 months.
So it was recent, just during COVID.
Yes. I'm the
Oh,
one who is traveling in COVID a lot.
wow. That's amazing.
I went to Poland, I went to the Spain, I went to Hungary, I went to Singapore, I went to Dubai, I went everywhere in COVID.
Really, that's amazing. Did you ever get infected?
No, I'm not infected. In
Wow.
fact, for last 25 years, I have never been sick and I have never seen a doctor.
That's incredible, brother. Wow. Okay, let's figure it out because I'm all about health, but I tend to get sick once in a while.
No,
In
I
fact, I
don't
got
have any sickness except when I'm traveling, they ask me PCR test. Except for that, I never visited any doctor for last 25 years.
that's incredible. Let's figure out how to do that. So let's go back into your life. I know that you are on this planet to help other people deal with their issues, especially their emotional issues. Which, by the way, I truly believe that every disease comes from emotion. When you are having low states of emotion in a consistent basis, everything starts to break down in your system. That's what I believe, because if I look back and every time that I've gotten sick, it's because my emotions were in the wrong place for a long period of time. So that at least I know that. So let's go back to you. Uh, you were born in India. What part of India were you born?
I born in the southern part of India, and most of my studies happened in Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, in major cities. So, in the background of my education system, I'm a fashion designer, and I'm also MBA graduate, and I'm well computer programmer,
Really? Wow.
and and I'm also certified yoga teacher, mindful practitioner, gut health practitioner, and now I am about to complete my neuroscience.
Okay, tell me about this. How can you have so much education when you look like you're 25 years old?
That's a good question. So it all take us back into my life. Even recently, when I went for some PCR test, and the doctor, when he is working through, and he said, "You are not looking this the age what you are mentioning. You are much younger than 25 years, younger than what you are mentioning." I said, "Okay, thank you for that beautiful compliment." So I believe in a statement. It calls most of the s- health issues come from psychological issue. That is why 95% of our health issues are psychosomatic. If you want me to explain a little bit deeper about it, let me tell you in a short and a deeper way. So many of us go through a lot of anxieties, fears, worries, and all this in a day-to-day basis or in day-to-day our work. Or many of us has these issues. Some people say, "Oh, I'm going through a lot of stress. Oh, I'm going through a lot of anxiety. Oh, I have all these worries. I don't know how to tackle this one." When we have this emotional imbalance inside, it drains our energy. A lot of energy it drains. As a human being, each day when we get up from the bed till we go to the bed, we have what you call continuous energy. It says our mechanism which is created in our body, that is we can have an energy entire day, but we are losing that energy but maybe probably by the lunchtime itself. After lunch we feel so tired. But if we closely observe, either this anxiety or the stress or the worries, all these are illusion, or it is self created. When I say self created, let us we take example of worries. Say my friend David has 100 worries, for example. These 100 worries, if you want to analyze it, out of this 140 are about the what already happened in our life. Oh, it has happened like this. Why it happened? Again, if it happened, what could be I should do? These thoughts will go. It constantly drain this too much thinking about it. The past is there for us to learn and grow, not for us to sit and worry and feel bad about it. Another 40 from this 100 is about future. Oh, what going to happen if I did not complete this project? Will my boss will what you call take me away from this project? Will I going to lose my job? If I lose my job, what happens to my family? What happens to my children? Or what could be my next step? This is another thinking process which is going on. Future is unborn. And what we don't know as a human being is life always unfold into uncertainty. Only in uncertainty life grows. That is the beauty of the universe which is created to us. Nobody knows when the rain comes. In fact, 2 years back, 3 years back, nobody knows this kind of virus come and we all sit in the home and talk like this in virtually. Nobody dreamed about it even in their wildest dreams. Yet it happened. In uncertainty, life unfolds. But we keep think about the future, we drained energy. That is another 40. Another 12 out of these 100, what other person thinking about me? What my friend thinking about me? What my friend David thinking about me? Eliza thinking about me? What happens if they're thinking about wrong? Will they be my friends or what going to be? All this. Like how I have, like how you have worries, even other also have worries. Then where is they have time to think about you? So like this 92% of these worries or stress or anxiety what we are experiencing are just in illusion. That does not mean we should not think about the future. That does not mean we are not keep this past into our life. Planning is necessary. That does not mean we keep thinking about the end result. When we keep thinking about the end result, that means we are expectation, we having these expectations. Expectation always lead us into the pain further. When we have planning, what we needed is the focus. When we focus, we reach to that future, what expectation we have. So
Mhm.
if you closely observe, before event, during event, after the event, we are carrying this worry, which is creating all this emotional imbalance,
Right.
that creating health issues. For
Now,
me,
sorry, you have eight that you haven't accounted for.
yeah, that eight is real situations of the life where we need focus into it.
Mm.
What we don't know is there is no situation in this world without a solution. Like how every seed carries its own seed, like mango, it carries its own seed. Similarly, every situation has its own situation solution in it. Since we lost our 92% of energy into these situations, we are not don't have energy to focus on this eight. That's why we are
Mhm.
losing the solution.
So will those eight refer to, like, for example, you all of a sudden you lose your job, or you're diagnosed with a disease that you weren't expecting, or somebody dies in your family? Is that that eight?
Yes, these are the very day-to-day normal situation, be it from the work area, be it about the family relationship, be it anything. But every situation has its own solution.
That's beautiful. Now, let's go back in your life and tell me, how did you choose this beautiful path of helping others have a beautiful life?
Okay, that's a good question. So if we go back to this 25 years back into my life, where I was working as a fashion designer in a company. So I had everything in my life. I had my good family, that is my mom, dad, my siblings. Everybody loves me. My mom cooks every food which I like. I have good success in my work. I have good friends. I can go anywhere. Everything I had. Yet at the end of day, I feel life is so terrible,
Meaningless.
meaningless. I feel anxiety, fears so much. So it's like a pressure cooker which is building up. You know, what we go through emotionally that reflects into the body, and body reflects the mind. These two complement each other. Since I'm going through a lot of struggle in this way in my body, sorry, in my emotional world, that started reflecting through into my body. That is, I had many health issues, not now, 25 years back.
Hmm.
I went to see many doctors. My mom took to me every doctor. I used Ayurveda, I used allopathy, I used naturopathy, I used homeopathy. No medicine gave me any solution. Actually, I was in same situation. My body has health issues. Doctors say everything is fine. Then where is my issue actually? That is where first time in my life I went to a meditation center where my grandmother took me there. So once the meditation over, I was sitting outside under a tree. I was just soaking into that beautiful joy which I experienced in my life first time.
Through meditation.
Yes. So there, deep within that calm, arose a question inside me. The question was, what were I am searching in my life? I was meaning, I was experiencing this meaningless, and where I am searching for a meaning for it, I have no answer. Because I was searching for it everywhere. I'm searching for it in my friends. I'm searching for it going for a movie. I'm searching for it going to a beach. I'm searching everywhere. I'm searching. Never I could found it. That's where I don't have answer. That's where first time I felt this insight. Joy is not in external circumstances. Joy is within me. How I perceive situation, how I perceive this person, how I take this situation depends on that. Either I feel joy or suffering. That small insight turned my life entirely in a different direction. I started exploring into it more and more. That's where I decided, oh, what until now experienced something, but there is much more into the life. And life is all about experience. That's why I decided to be a monk for and learn many things from various streams of life. And I started helping people.
That's wonderful. So the rest of your education was while you were turning into a monk. So tell me, what does it take to become a monk, and what tradition did you follow?
So if you want to take into that way, it is like a first thing is I want to really explore into life itself, what this life stored for us. That's where I had this great opportunity to be a monk, to learn all these things about the life. Life, what is the life? Life is always governed by a lot of principles. Say now you are, I'm sitting here without floating away because gravitational force is holding me back on to sit properly and I'm able to look at you and speak with you. Similarly, life run through a lot of life principles. When we are deviated from these life principles, what we experience is suffering. So I want to learn all these life principles so that I want to really deeply explore into the life itself. That's where I started learning from various streams, from various places. So initially, I went to learn from like a Buddhist teachings. Then I was learning about from Vivekananda. Then I was learning every kind of thing from philosophy. I started learning. I learned about Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and everywhere I explored it.
Wonderful. So you were looking for the truth, and
Yeah.
to actually find the truth, you had to go through everywhere, right? And everything.
Yes.
Isn't that fascinating? Because we as humans we believe that the truth is in one place, but as you know, I'm almost 50 years old now, and now I realize that to really learn the truth of life, you have to look everywhere, and then you find little pieces everywhere, and then you have to make your own puzzle, isn't it? Where all the pieces that you found when you finally have clarity on what reality is.
See, if you want to say, there's a very beautiful thing from our scriptures. There is a Upanishads in India. Upanishads are not something a religious aspect. Actually, they explain us what life is. So there's a one beautiful statement. It says, reality is one, but wise perceives many ways. That is, truth is the only one. The one who is looking at is perceive in a different way. I may look at the truth in a different way. You may look at the truth in a different way. And how we perceive depends on our experience would be.
Wow,
So
incredible.
that's how I have started learning all those things. And later on, I discovered many things actually. How success could be, how health could be, how wealth can be.
How
So
long did it take you to become a monk?
it only say once I got that insight that how joy is not in external circumstances, joy is within me. Maybe probably after 3 months later, I'm in a place of monk.
Fast.
I decided so fast.
That's wonderful. So, did you decide to stop pursuing material possessions and working as before? Like, what? How did your life change? Did you go back to your designer job or not?
So after I got that insight, I was working, still I was working, but I was experiencing everything in a different way. I was looking at everything what I was working is something amazingly, with a gratitude, with a joyfully. That started looking at the others in a different way, and I'm able to sense the others who experiencing suffering is just illusion. I must somehow help them. So that is where my thought are changed. Then I decided to be a monk. because I started feeling how others' life is the same way how I experienced before and how it is not true. So certainly they need some help.
Mhm.
So that is where I decided to monk and learn all these things to help the others. That's where I am.
It's fascinating. And how are you living your life now? I guess you are fulfilled. You live in constant joy.
Okay, that's good. So yes, certainly I can say I'm living very happily. So after I have been like this monk for 19 years, then suddenly I had a situation where the situation demanded me to help my father, because my only father, who going through a lot of physical health issues, and he was like a baby. At the age of 80 years old, he's just like a baby because he lost his memory and he's not able to walk, and he needed a lot of assistance. So that's why I dropped my monkhood in a single go. I had situation. I can be continue to be as a monk or go back home and take care of my father. So if I was 20 years back person, I will be lost myself into conflict. But
Mhm.
quickly I decided, yes, this is the time for me to help my father, because of him today I am in this world walking around. I learned all these things. So that's why I went to serve him gratefully for almost 4 years. I took care of him like a baby. And 2 years back, he passed away. Right now, I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. Wherever possible, I'm helping people. Like Eliza, whoever asked me, I'm simply helping them. So as I'm helping them, I feel more joy and living happily.
That is beautiful. And tell me, you said that in the unknown is where life unfolds, on uncertainty. How do you choose to move to Spain? What prompted you to leave your beautiful country that is so spiritual, by the way, and moving to a developed country that is the old world? I believe they are 40 years ahead of us in North America, at least, but it's a very materialistic continent.
Okay, it's like it's not just I want to spend in Spain. Actually, I had a visa to go Spain long back. So during pandemic, everything is closed. So then one of my friend asked me, why don't you come Spain? Because come Europe, you have visa already, a Schengen visa. So I came here. By the time India borders are closed because of pandemic, then there is no way for me to go back India. So I thought decided to stay back in Spain and extend my visa. And I changed my visa into residence visa, so I'm able to stay here. It's not that I choose to stay here. The circumstances and the universe forced me to stay here, and which I did not carry any conflict in it. I said, this is how now life can be unfolded for me. So let me continue. Let me see what life is stored for me at this part of time, and what comes for. Let me welcome it. So that's why I'm here.
Beautiful. Now, you mentioned that you went to several countries during the pandemic. Uh, can you explain a bit more why or where do you go?
So I went Singapore, I went to Dubai, I went to Poland, I went Hungary, I went Indonesia, um, all these countries.
And what took you there?
So because some individuals who need their help, some groups they who need their help, I went there to help them to overcome their emotional issues and physical health issues and everything. So
So it was your calling that took you there.
it was my calling to go there to help them.
It's interesting because I am a computer scientist. I've lived my life in technology since I was 16 years old. I started programming at 16 years old. And developers, architects, engineers, we actually write code to create stable environments that are predictable. That's my job. So as a result, I always live my life in a very predictable way. always trying to anticipate the next 10 steps. For example, when I used to play chess with my grandfather, that was the whole idea. He was teaching me, how do you anticipate what steps I'm going to make so I can win at the game? And I applied that philosophy to my career and to my life. And that brought me great success. But at the same time, it gave me this thirst to figure out more. Like it became boring. It became, like very steady. And even though I had huge troubles in my life, ups and downs, and I thought that joy was in material possessions, and then that didn't happen. So I'm like, what now? Like, if money is not going to make me happy, what is it? So I started to get myself deep into learning, like as you, but not in different way. I started reading books and listening to Tony Robbins, and all these teachers like Richard Branson and Andy Stanley, people like that, right? And that was 10 years ago when my journey started. And it was only this year where I actually, during pandemic, I decided to go to a medical conference in Mexico, which was the only country that allowed people. I left Canada. The border was closed, but I still left. Then my wife came 2 weeks later, and we were just planning nothing. For the first time in my life, I planned nothing. We were like, I was telling my wife, like, we only had 3 more stays in a hotel. And then I will tell her, like, what do we do now? And she's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? We couldn't go back to Canada because it was closed. So all of a sudden, you know, I thought it was coincidences. Now I understand it was synchronicities started to happen where somebody will call me, hey, you want to come over here? I don't know what's in your schedule, but you want to come over here? And usually my schedule is very busy. People never ask me these things because I'm always working. So I will like go from step to step. At the end of the day, I ended up 4.5 months letting my higher self guide me through this beautiful trip. And my growth was exponential. 4.5 months. I got COVID during that trip. I was very sick. I thought I was going to die. But I knew that I needed to go through that stage in my life to realize that I still had emotions to work through me. And I'm still on my path. But as a result of all that, I created this thing called the Quantum Explorers. Because now I want to just share, like you, right? You were in so much joy that all you wanted to do is help other people. That's where I am right now. And because I'm a software scientist and I know how to create a hypothesis and then prove it with experiments through exploration, I want to get people from the quantum level and trying to define and understand the rules, not define, but actually understand the laws of the universe from the subpractical level all the way up to the macro, right? To the planets and the stars and galaxies, so that we can actually understand how this works, and finally go to a state of joy, which I am in right now. Not as you, because I can see you. I can see your eyes, and your soul is always at peace. I still get mad once in a while. I still get frustrated once in a while. But at least now my low state is no longer at 5 minutes or 7 minutes. I go back into meditation and I go back to my higher self. At least I'm aware enough that I can actually go back to my beautiful state and that life is for me, not against me. Amazing.
This is what I said in the beginning. Life unfolds in uncertainty. If one learns how to live in uncertainty, there will be a peaceful human being. So life can only live through two states, or I can say two ways. It can be mindless way or mindful way. Mm-hmm. The one who mindfully lives, the person, say if our dear friend David is a businessman. As a businessman, you need to get success, or you always want a success. How can you get that success? When you focus, when you are decisive, when you are courageous, when you are confident, when you are learning, when you are growing, you are success. All these are connected. When can it possible? When you are mindful. When you are mindful, you can move into these experiences. And when can you be mindful? When you flow through life principles. Each principle will connect to the one beautiful quality which needed for our success. Like how sugar carries its sweetness, nobody can take it away from you. And wherever we add that sugar, still that sweetness continues. Similarly, as a human being, when we born into this world, we are governed by this life principle. That is one. And we born with these inherent qualities such as focus, decisiveness, courage, confidence, sense of worthy. When we have these qualities flowing through us, which we have already by birth, when we allow them to flow with us, nobody can stop our success. We need to learn how to nurture these qualities which we have already. You can't say, oh, I don't have focus, I don't know what to do, let me go to the David what you call quantum so that I can get this focus. No, focus is there within you,
Mhm.
but how to nurture that focus is very important. How to get back into that decisiveness is very important instead of losing ourselves into conflicts. How to get back that courage and nurture that one without losing ourselves into fears. How to get back into that confidence without losing ourselves into confusion and everywhere to go. How to get back into that sense of worthy. Because by birth, we have all those qualities. It's not that we don't have. Once we know how to unlock these things into which is there within us, it's like a treasure which we born with it. If we learn those things, how to unlock it, there you go. Nobody can stop you to become a uh, fortune leader or abundant leader. Nobody can stop you to become a great business leader, or nobody can stop you to be a successful person. Be it a businessman, be it a housewife, be it a student, everybody can be successful.
It's true. And actually, I learned in a book that the success is the constant persuasion of a worthy ideal, which means success is pursuing what you really want to do in life, right? And you define it very well when you were saying housewife or a business leader or whatever it is that you need to do in life, but doing it in a state of joy and gratitude, doing it in a state of calmness, not anxiety, right? Not fear, like you said. My God, I've been so fearful all my life. Scarcity all the time. My business, like, so scared, you know? Oh my God, I'm going to go out of business next month. I don't have enough to do payroll, like my whole life. And meanwhile, I was accumulating more and more wealth. And the more wealth I had, the more scared I got from losing it. How crazy is that?
Yes, that's really crazy. Recently, recently, just 15 days back, one person called me to help his friend. So I said, okay. So it's over a call. I was talking with that person. Due to pandemic, that person lost their job and lost himself into anxiety and not knowing what to do next and started blaming everyone and everything around and thinking about to end their life. So all this is happening. So I was talking. So I told him, so do you think that ending life is the solution for it? Why don't you look into the truth, or why don't you look into the what is happening within you? Right now you are feeling anxiety. Do you think that anxiety is real? If you lost the job, do you think that you don't have capacity to get another one? Since you are giving yourself with such a low esteem yourself and you are not feeling sense of worthy which is needed for you, and you're just thinking anxiety is true, and you're just like assuming that world going to end for you, which is not true. Everything is illusion. And explained him scientifically, like how I told you, the worries, 100 worries. I explained him completely. This just took 35 minutes for me. Now, after that, I told him what to do next. I gave him small meditation and also small exercise, what need to do back in the home. You know, after a week, he called me again, said, "Thank you." I said, "What?" He said, "I got a job." That's beautiful. Enjoy yourself, I said to him. It's all about we need to really have that way of looking into the life. Once we ready to look into that way, as you are saying, you were into the fear, you were into scarcity, all that will can be changed.
It's true.
And
And
change is possible, and change is always there in our life. Without change, life can't be evolved. But what the problem is, every one of us are afraid of the change and we don't want to move away from our comfort zone. Now, David, he created has himself as a comfort zone around him. I am this, I am this, I am this. So, if not this, what next? And he don't want to step out of it. And he is afraid the change of unknown because change is unknown for us. And that man, he lost himself unknown change. He's afraid of unknown change. Oh, I lost my job. What next? What next is giving a unknown change, and it is unknown for him. That is creating a lot of anxiety.
Mhm.
This is the issue of most of the people in the world. Say if there is a software engineer is working on the project, when he's working on the project he need to focus on to that what project is doing, but he lost already in the anxiety. Oh my god, I need to complete on the time. If I not do it, what will my project leader will tell me? They may take me away from this project. To get that work done, you need to focus not into this what next thought, that creating anxiety.
Mhm. It's funny that you said, like, people like, yeah, this quantum thing that David is doing. And it's funny you say that because I've been to, I don't know, more than 100 events in the last 5 years. I've read more than 100 books. And I found that I started finding happiness, but only during the events. And then the happiness stayed with me for 2 more weeks. And then I will go back to my anxiety and go back to my angry man and go back to the old self. So that I will go and get another event and I will read another book. And then I realized, oh my God, I learned so much. Like, that's why I am who I am now. However, I was using those events as a crutch
Yes, it's
to
a
find
comfort zone you
happiness.
created yourself.
And the funny part is that now I'm creating this event, an event for people. But the difference is, though, that I just want to go and teach the fastest way I can so that they don't ever have to come back to me. It's not about them being with me for 20 years, 10 years, 1 year. If they can get it in the first session, this is my life purpose for them to wake up and see that everything that they can ever want and need is inside of them. But you need instruction, right? You need
Yes.
to know how to meditate. You need to learn about these 100 worries, by the way. I'm going to use that, by the way, if you will allow me to, right? But, I'm making it in 3 parts, only 3 parts. So 3 events. The first one, introduction. If they don't get it, there is a second one. If they don't get it, there is a third one. And they can always repeat it, as I had to repeat 100 events, because everybody will get it in a different way depending on the level of consciousness, isn't it? It's crazy, but it's like that. Like me, my consciousness was so low, I needed to go to hundreds of events. But now I want to make it in a way that it goes right into it, because I'm not doing it for money anymore. I'm not doing it for my own wealth anymore. I'm doing it for them, for out of unconditional love. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean. Out of, like, I love my life so much. I am so joyful that I want everybody in the world to have it, because we can all have it if we learn how to look inside. Don't
Yes.
look outside, look inside. I know the event is outside, is external, but it's to teach you how to look inside.
It's like when we try to do anything from anxiety, that is, anxiety leads into anxiety. Further, it only land you up into the anxiety. It never take you out of the anxiety. It's a loop.
Mhm.
And even as you said, I don't have many events. I only have two events. In those two events, they will out of it.
Perfect.
So life is beautiful actually. And life is there for us to enjoy and experience it, not for us to move into always into these anxieties, fears, and no sense of worthy. By the way, 2 days back I was talking with a gentleman. He has many businesses, but he always feel a sense of he won't feel he's a worthy person actually. So it was around a day event I was doing for him. Still he's continuing with me. So after that he said, I want to work with you. That is, he want to come with me, join with me, so that every week he want to have a 1 hour session with me. So he want to learn further. But at this moment, in that one day, he's out of that sense of, I'm not a worthy person. That's, I'm not a worthy person coming from his childhood.
Mhm.
And ever since in his life, whatever he does, he only feel, I'm not a worthy person. I'm not a worthy person.
Worthy.
That's why constantly he run to do feel worthy.
Yeah.
This emotional stress ever since from his childhood built up inside him so much pressure, and he started feeling lower back pain. It's like he locked up into a box.
Hmm.
So first time he released all that and he started laughing like a baby.
And I bet the back pain went away.
Yes. And he said, life continues.
Hmm. It's beautiful. You know, this three-part thing that I want to do, these three events, it has to be like that because there is 8.5 billion people in this world. We need to move fast, brother. Because
Yes,
I believe we can create heaven on earth. I truly
definitely.
believe, right?
Definitely. Yes.
Because I live in heaven on earth right now. You too. I can see
Yes.
it in your eyes. Right?
Yeah, thank you.
And it's such a blessing to have the pleasure to be with you in this hour, brother. It's funny because I was telling you before the podcast, I usually, when I invite people to my podcast, it's people that I know, people that I do business with, or, like I met before. This is the first time I get somebody into the podcast that I had never seen in my life. I just had one email from you. I knew this was meant to be. And this is becoming one of the best podcasts that I ever made. Thank
Thank
you. Thank you for your time and for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be with you at this evening. I really felt I met somebody whom very close to me, and it is very great pleasure. Not a pleasure. Pleasure is only comes from comfort. I would say it's a joyful moment in my life because joy is no reason because I met somebody whom very close to me. So I wish to see you again and again like this to share something together so that we can help the world around us.
Yes,
So,
it's beautiful. One last question before I want to respect your time.
no, no,
If
no.
you had a big billboard in the busiest highway on earth, where thousands of cars per minute could see what you can write there, what will you write?
You want me to say some statement there to write?
Yes.
I want to say, I don't want to give this one because I love this one in my life. Always I see like it is my life journey begins from there. So I love these four small letters, Life, life.
Life.
And each word, each single letter has a meaning in it. L, love. I, in. F, do you know what F is? One
Fascinating.
word.
Fascinating.
Okay, you can take it as a fascinating. So love in fascinated. What is E?
Enlightenment.
Yes.
That one I knew for sure, right in my heart.
That is life actually. Life is always, it is in the moment. Love in the moment, a fascinated way, enlightened. That's what the life is.
Love in the moment, in a fascinated way, enlightenment. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Brother, if people want to hear about you or go to your sessions or your events, how can they find you?
Okay, just now I'm about to create a website, but anybody can reach me to my email. So right now I'm only here and there doing with all individuals, like
Okay.
individuals who want to connect with me. So many of them are like Eliza, some business people whom I was working with them. So I'm helping them to overcome their issues in the business and also the same time to overcome their what you call family life issues or everything, because it's not that you alone have what you call issues in the business area. If you have issues one area, it impacts every area of your life. Say David going through some issue in his family, it impacts on his business work, it impacts in social relationship everywhere. So I have these sessions to work in three different levels. First, I'll teach them life principles, which is get them connect back to this inherent treasure which they have, the inherent qualities of them, as I explained you in previously. In the next level, I help them to basic foundation of the human life. And life is itself is like a building a house. When you want to build a house, you need to have a strong foundation, and life has to be have a strong foundation. And in that foundation, further we need to create a pillars where we have greater life. So on that, I'll help them to build a strong foundation and the pillars. And the last part is creating abundant life. That is, if it's a businessman, they become an abundant leader. At the
Mhm.
same time, they will be a success uh, relationships. At the same time, they feel a great health, that is well-being. So all these three together, it brings well-being, it brings greater relationships, success, and finally, they will be always in a joyful life.
What else can we want and need, eh? Amazing.
So it will fulfill them, it transform them, it make them to set free into their life where they feel joy.
Beautiful. Thank you
So
so much for your wife, for
that
your life. Yeah, I'm amazed at how you transformed yourself, how you find constant joy, and now how you're dedicating your life to just to give the opportunity to others to find themselves.
thank
Right?
you.
And I truly believe, by the way, that you cannot make anybody better. You can just guide them, and they make themselves better because it's inside of them already. It's just like for me. It's just like I just want to be the road or the light that shines the way in the road for their fulfillment and joy. But they had to do it themselves. I had to do it myself, right?
My course's name is Life.
Yes. Life.
Unless we say Life course number 1, course number 2, 3. That's all.
Fantastic. Brother, thank you so much for your time. We'll be sure to put your email address on the blog that will come out. You are
Yes.
always welcome in this podcast. Whenever you want to come back, it'll be my pleasure to have you.
I'm looking forward to connect with you so that we both together can make some transformative journey for the people. So it can be transformative for them.
Fantastic.
I'm looking forward to connect with you again and again. It's so joyful moment for me. I'm looking forward to you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Blessings.
Thank you.
That's all for today's episode of the Break Free Podcast. Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. Starting your own business can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. Visit davidmansilla.com to pick up a copy of the #1 international best-selling book, Breaking Out of Corporate Jail. Expand what you consider to be possible and reach your full potential. And join us on the next episode.